Hello everyone, welcome back. Tonight we're diving into one of the most explosive geopolitical crises unfolding right now, a crisis stretching from the Middle East to Ukraine to Venezuela, and now landing straight in East Asia, because this time it's China and Japan pushing dangerously close to the edge. A chilling threat has just been issued, a threat directly from Beijing to Tokyo. If you intervene, you will suffer a crushing military defeat. That's not exaggeration. That's not metaphor. That is the official language China used against Japan this week, and it all began with one issue, Taiwan. But the escalation since then? It's spiraling faster than anyone expected. Today we break down China's threats, Japan's response, the military deployments, the cancellation of flights, the rage building on both sides, and the terrifying possibility that this crisis could become the spark of a much larger war. Let's start with the moment that shocked everyone. China has officially asked all its citizens to avoid traveling to Japan. Chinese airlines are canceling flights one by one. Passengers are getting full refunds. Travel between the two countries is collapsing. This isn't tourism. This is a political weapon, a tool countries use when tensions are about to explode. And why now? Because China says Japan's government has crossed a red line. Japan's new prime minister, the nation's first female leader, Sanae Takaichi, made a statement that Beijing considered unforgivable. She told Japan's parliament, a Chinese attack on Taiwan would be an existential threat to Japan and could trigger a military response. In plain words, if China invades Taiwan, Japan will join the war. This wasn't symbolic. Under Japanese law, if the nation faces an existential threat, its military must act. China heard that as, you attack Taiwan and we attack you. Beijing exploded with anger. Within hours, China's ambassador in Osaka made an unbelievable statement, a phrase meaning, the dirty neck that sticks out must be cut. He was implying that Japan the neck should be beheaded. The Japanese government reacted immediately, calling the language disgraceful and summoning China's ambassador in Tokyo. Some Japanese lawmakers demanded that China's Osaka consul be expelled, but before Japan could even respond, China escalated again. China sent military ships straight into the waters around the Senkaku Islands, islands controlled by Japan but claimed by China, which calls them the Diaoyu Islands, not one ship, multiple. China's Coast Guard announced proudly, these are law enforcement patrols. These islands belong to us. Then came the drones. Chinese military drones flew directly over Japanese territory, a major violation that Tokyo considers extremely provocative. China was sending a message. When war comes, these islands are the first thing we take. Taiwan reports massive Chinese deployment. While ships and drones approached Japan, Taiwan was watching something even more frightening. On the same day, 30 Chinese military aircraft flew around Taiwan. 7 Chinese Navy vessels were deployed, plus a Chinese Coast Guard ship. This wasn't a drill. This was Beijing showing the region, and the world, that it's preparing for every scenario, including a military confrontation with Japan. And it wasn't just the military. China weaponized everything. 3 major Chinese airlines suddenly announced free cancellation of all Japan tickets, free ticket changes, flights to Japan suspended. This is exactly what China did to South Korea before economic retaliation. Now it's Japan's turn, and it won't stop with flights. Analysts expect China to impose trade restrictions, export controls, suspensions of rare earth supplies, tourism freezes, academic and business limitations. Beijing even told Chinese students studying in Japan to reconsider their education plans. This is huge because more than 123,000 Chinese students are currently studying in Japan. If even half leave, Japanese universities could face a crisis. Chinese media has gone full attack mode. State newspapers are accusing Japan of reviving World War II ideology, using militaristic language, whitewashing past war crimes, preparing for a new era of aggression. And while they talk about right-wing Japanese figures, it's obvious who they mean. Prime Minister Takaichi herself. China has not forgotten World War II, not Nanjing, not Japan's invasion of Manchuria, not the atrocities committed across Asia. These memories still shape Chinese politics. And now, seeing Japan rearm at record speed, China believes history is repeating itself. For decades, Japan barely spent on its military because of post-war restrictions, but everything changed after the Ukraine war. Japan now spends more on defense than at any time in its modern history. New missiles, new fighter jets, new submarines, new alliances. Even Patriot missile systems are built in Japan before being sent to Ukraine. And China hates this. To Beijing, Japan is transforming from a peaceful economic giant into a powerful military force backed by the US. China sees something terrifying. Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, Australia, India, and of course, the United States all tightening military cooperation. The US has 55,000 troops in Japan, 26,000 troops in South Korea, huge bases in Guam and Hawaii. Dozens of naval assets across the Pacific. China sees this as an encirclement, and when nations feel surrounded they tend to act aggressively. That's how wars start. Taiwan is the center of everything. It's only 110 km from Japan, close enough to China to see the mainland on a clear day, one of the world's most important shipping routes, home to the world's most advanced semiconductor factories. If China takes Taiwan, Japanese territory would be within direct striking distance. Japan would feel trapped, and that's why Prime Minister Takaichi said, a Chinese annexation of Taiwan is a life-or-death issue for Japan. Beijing believes she's preparing for war. Japan believes China is preparing for war. And both sides are acting like war is inevitable. One of China's state newspaper editorials openly said, a China-Japan conflict will not remain limited. The United States and other powers will join. They're basically predicting World War III. And here's the scary truth. If a world war were to start today, the most likely places would be 1. Ukraine, or 2. The Pacific, exactly where China and Japan are facing off now. China has nearly 1.5 billion people, a massive modernizing army, a defense budget estimated at 300 billion plus, hypersonic missiles, stealth jets, space warfare, capabilities, a navy larger than the US in vessel count. Japan has cutting-edge technology, a rapidly expanding military, strong alliances, US support, a strategic location, a leader who is openly tough and unapologetically hawkish. This is not a small rivalry. This is a collision between two giants. So, will there be a war? No one can say for sure, but here's what we can say. Military deployments are increasing. Diplomatic insults are escalating. Flight cancellations show deepening hostility. China's media is predicting major conflict. Japan's leadership is preparing for worst-case scenarios. US presence guarantees any war becomes global instantly. And remember, world wars aren't planned. They happen when multiple small fires connect into one huge blaze. Right now, East Asia is full of small fires, and Taiwan is the matchbox. China and Japan, two of the world's biggest economies, fiercest rivals, and most influential cultures, are sliding toward a confrontation that could reshape the entire world. If things continue like this, the next few months in East Asia will be some of the most dangerous we've seen in decades. Let's hope diplomacy wins, but prepare for more turbulence ahead. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more geopolitical breakdowns like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment below. Do you think China and Japan could go to war? Your support helps us reach more people and create more content like this. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay aware, and see you in the next one.